Sarah, I have a problem.
That sounds serious. Is it a real problem or a Max problem?
Max problem, but emotionally, very real.
Okay. Tell me.
My running shoes no longer trust me.
Your running shoes have trust issues?
Yes, every Monday I pick them up and say, "This is it, we are back." And I think the left shoe looks at the right shoe and says, "Do not get emotionally attached."
That is a very sad life for the shoes.
They have seen too much. January fitness plan, March comeback, summer walking era, one mysterious week when I only wore them to buy snacks.
So the shoes have evidence.
Exactly. Evidence. They know my history.
And that is funny, but also very human. Because sometimes the hard part is not starting. The hard part is starting again after you already stopped once.
Yes. The first time, you feel fresh. New plan, new notebook, new energy.
But the second time, you bring memories with you. You remember stopping. You remember losing momentum. You wonder if it will happen again.
And suddenly one small step feels heavy.
That is what we are talking about today. The courage to begin again.
Welcome to Podcast English Lessons. I'm Max.
And I'm Sarah. This is the place where you can learn clear, natural English through real conversations about real life.
Today we are talking about restarting something important. English, exercise, a project, a routine, a friendship, or a goal you quietly left behind.
And if you have ever stopped something and felt ashamed to return, this episode is for you.
You will hear useful English phrases like pick it back up, get back into it, lose momentum, take a break, and one step at a time.
And more importantly, we want you to remember this. Beginning again is not starting from zero.
You are starting with experience.
Even if your running shoes are still suspicious.
They are listening carefully today.
Before we go deeper, Max, I want to ask you something.
I am ready, but my shoes are nervous.
Have you ever stopped something and then felt strange about going back to it?
Yes, many times. Exercise is the funny example, but English learners will understand this with language learning too.
Tell me.
A few years ago, I tried to improve my Spanish. At first, I was very serious. I had an app, a notebook, a pen, and a very dramatic belief that this time I would become a new person.
A new Spanish-speaking Max.
Exactly. Max, but with better pronunciation and more confidence ordering coffee.
That sounds like a good dream.
It was, and for 3 weeks, I was strong. I listened every day. I wrote small sentences. I even put little labels on objects in my apartment.
You labeled your apartment?
Yes. My table had a note. My door had a note. My fridge had a note. My apartment looked like the furniture was taking a Spanish exam.
That is actually very cute.
Then one busy week happened. I missed one day. Then 2 days. Then I said I will come back on Monday.
Very famous sentence.
Very dangerous sentence. Monday came, looked around, and left without me.
Monday can be rude like that.
After that, 2 months passed. The notebook stayed on my desk. I moved it to clean. I put coffee next to it. I even put my phone on it once. But I did not open it.
So the notebook became more than a notebook.
Yes. It became a small paper witness.
A witness. That is a strong word.
A witness is someone who sees what happened. And that notebook had seen everything. My motivation, my stopping, my excuses, and, of course, my coffee.
The coffee was involved.
Always. Part 1. Why beginning again feels different.
That story shows something important. Beginning again feels different from beginning the first time.
Yes, the first time feels clean. It is like opening a new notebook with perfect empty pages.
No mistakes yet.
No old dates, no crossed out plans, no little voice saying, "Remember last time?"
But when you begin again, you do not bring only the goal. You bring the memory of stopping.
That is the heavy part.
Exactly. Maybe you remember the English book you bought and never finished. Or the exercise plan you started 3 times. Or the friend you wanted to text but did not.
Or the project file on your computer that you open, look at for 6 seconds and close again because it feels too serious.
Yes, A project file can have emotional power.
Some files judge harder than people.
But the file is not really judging you.
I know. But it has a cold energy.
The feeling is real. And that feeling is what we can call the second start weight.
Second start weight.
Yes. It means starting again can feel heavier than starting the first time, because you remember stopping before.
That is exactly it. It is not just, can I start? It is, can I start again after I already stopped?
And then the mind asks bigger questions.
Like, what if I stop again?
Or, what if this proves something bad about me?
Or, what if I am just not consistent?
Consistent is a useful word. It means doing something regularly, again and again.
Like studying English for 10 minutes every day.
Yes. And when we stop, we sometimes think, I am not consistent, so maybe I cannot do this.
That thought can make us feel discouraged.
Discouraged means you feel less hope or less energy because something feels difficult or disappointing.
Like when you stop English for a month and think, maybe I am just bad at languages.
Yes, but stopping does not always mean you are bad at something.
I agree, but I also think we should be honest. Sometimes we stop because the plan was too hard, and sometimes we stop because we avoided the uncomfortable part.
That is fair. Sometimes life gets in the way, and sometimes we get in our own way.
Get in our own way, that phrase is painfully useful.
It means we create problems for ourselves, sometimes without meaning to.
Like saying, I will study English for 2 hours every night, when right now I study for 0 minutes and fall asleep holding my phone.
Exactly. The plan sounds impressive, but it is too heavy to carry.
So the first problem is not that we stopped. The first problem is that we think stopping tells the whole story.
Yes, but it does not. Stopping is one part of the story. Returning can be the next part.
Part 2. Max opens the notebook.
So what happened when you finally opened the Spanish notebook again?
I wish I could say I opened it with courage, beautiful music, and strong sunlight through the window.
But?
I opened it at 10:40 at night, wearing old socks with a cup of tea that was already cold.
That is more realistic.
Very realistic. I opened the notebook and saw the last date. 2 months earlier, and immediately I felt this heavy little sentence in my head. You stopped again.
That sentence hurts.
It does. And then another sentence came, you always do this.
That one is even worse.
Yes, because it turns one moment into an identity. It does not say you stopped this time. It says this is who you are.
And that is dangerous. Because a setback is an event, not an identity.
Setback, good word.
A setback is a problem or delay that slows your progress. It does not mean the story is over.
So stopping for 2 months was a setback.
Yes, but it was not your whole identity.
That would have helped me that night, because I sat there for a minute, looking at the notebook, and I almost closed it.
Why?
Because closing it felt easier than facing it. If I closed it, I could stay in the fog, not fully starting, not fully stopping, just floating in the middle.
That middle place can feel safe, but it also keeps you stuck.
Exactly. Then I did something very small. I wrote one sentence in Spanish. One simple, probably ugly sentence.
What was it?
I think it was something like, today I drink coffee. Very advanced. Very international.
A powerful message for the world.
Absolutely. But after I wrote it, something changed. The notebook was not only evidence that I had stopped, it became evidence that I had returned.
That is beautiful. Same notebook, different meaning.
Yes. The old page said you stopped. The new sentence said you came back.
That is the first small win of beginning again. You changed the story of today.
Not the whole future.
No, just today. And that is enough for the first step.
I think that is important. Because people want the first step back to fix everything.
But the first step back is not there to fix your whole life. It is there to reopen the door.
Reopen the door. I like that.
A closed door can feel final. But sometimes all you need is to open it a little.
And one sentence can open it.
Yes. One sentence, one walk, one message, one page, one small honest action.
Part 3. Sara'S Sketchbook. You asked me about my notebook, now I want to ask about yours.
My sketchbook?
Yes, the one that judged you from the shelf.
The quiet judge.
Very serious. Possibly wearing tiny glasses.
I had not drawn for a long time. Almost a year, I think. And the strange thing is, I still loved drawing. I still liked pencils, shapes, little lines, quiet afternoons. But I had stopped.
So stopping did not mean you stopped caring.
Exactly. That is another important point. Sometimes we stop something we still care about.
That feels true.
One Sunday afternoon, I saw the sketchbook on the shelf. I picked it up, but I did not open it immediately.
Why not?
Because I was afraid of meeting my past self.
That is a very Sarah sentence.
Thank you. I mean it. I thought I would look at my old drawings and feel sad. I thought, I used to be creative. I used to have time. I used to be that person.
So beginning again was not only about drawing, it was about facing the person who started before.
Yes. And I felt guilty, like I had left that version of me waiting.
That is heavy.
It was. But when I opened the sketchbook, something different happened. The drawings were not perfect. Some were unfinished. Some were messy. But I saw small notes next to them. Things like, try this again. Or, I like this line. Or maybe add more shadow.
That is sweet.
It was. And suddenly, I did not feel judged by my old self. I felt connected to her.
Like she was not angry.
Exactly. She was just there. She had started something because it gave her joy.
What did you do?
I drew one small coffee cup.
Of course it was coffee.
Of course. But it was not a beautiful coffee cup. It looked tired.
A tired coffee cup is emotionally honest.
Yes. It looked like a coffee cup that also needed a weekend. But I finished it. And after that, I felt a small door open.
Not a giant life transformation.
No fireworks, no dramatic music, just a small door.
A small door might be better.
I think so. Big dramatic restarts can be exciting, but they can also be exhausting. You buy new supplies, create a huge plan, tell everyone, and then real life arrives with problems.
Real life always arrives without an appointment.
Always. But a small door is gentle. You open it, step through, and see what happens.
So your coffee cup was your small door.
Yes, and your Spanish sentence was your small door.
And my running shoes are standing outside the door, suspicious but hopeful.
They are part of the team now.
Part 4. Not starting from zero. I think many people believe that after a break, they are back at zero.
Yes. Especially with English. They say, I stopped studying, so now I lost everything.
But did they?
Usually no. Maybe they forgot some words. Maybe they feel slower. Maybe speaking feels awkward again. But they are not the same person they were before they started.
Because they have experience.
Exactly. Beginning again is not starting from zero. You are starting with experience.
That sentence feels like the center of the episode.
It is. Think about a path in a park. If you walked that path before, and then you stopped going for a while, the path does not disappear.
Unless the park is very dramatic.
Yes, unless the park has a lot of personal issues. But usually the path is still there. When you return, you may walk slowly, but you recognize things. A tree. A bench. A corner. A little hill.
Your body remembers.
Your body remembers. And your mind remembers too. With English, maybe you hear a phrase and think, wait, I know this. Maybe you cannot use it perfectly yet, but it is not new.
So the first few days after a break are not proof that you lost everything.
No. They are warm-up days.
Warm-up days.
A warm-up is something you do to prepare your body or mind before the main activity. After a break, you need a warm-up. You do not need punishment.
I wish someone told me that before I tried to run 3 kilometers after doing nothing for months.
What happened?
My body filed an official complaint.
Of course it did.
I thought, I used to run this route. I can do it. After 5 minutes, my lungs said we were not invited to this plan.
That is what happens when we try to restart at the old level too quickly.
We remember what we used to do.
Yes. And then we expect ourselves to do it immediately again.
But maybe the goal is not to be your old version on day one.
Exactly. Maybe the goal is to become a returning version.
A returning version.
A version of you that says, I am here again. I will begin where I am, not where I wish I were.
That is useful for English, exercise, work, friendship, everything.
Yes, because returning with kindness is often more powerful than returning with pressure.
I used to think pressure made me stronger.
And did it?
Sometimes for one day. Then it made me avoid the whole thing.
That is the problem. Pressure can start the engine, but kindness often keeps it running.
Nice. That is a good image.
Thank you. I am keeping up with your running shoes.
Part 5. Shame and the invisible judges. We should talk about shame.
Yes. Shame is a big part of beginning again.
Shame says, hide.
And beginning again says, show up.
Show up means come, be present, try again.
Exactly, and shame often makes the room feel full of invisible judges.
Invisible judges, I know them.
Me too. If you stopped going to an English class, you may feel nervous to return because you imagine people asking, where were you?
Or if you stop going to the gym, you think everyone will notice.
But usually, people are busy with their own lives.
At the gym, most people are not watching you. They are trying to breathe, count, and remember where they left their water bottle.
Exactly. But shame tells you that everyone is looking.
Shame is a terrible narrator.
Very unreliable.
Unreliable. That means you cannot fully trust it.
Yes. An unreliable narrator tells the story in a way that may not be true. Shame often tells us, everyone is judging you, but maybe nobody is.
I agree, but sometimes people really do make comments.
That is true. Someone might say, oh, you stopped again. Or I thought you gave up. Those comments can hurt.
So what can we do?
I think it helps to have one calm sentence ready.
Like a small shield.
Yes. A small language shield. You can say, I took a break, and now I am getting back into it.
That sounds calm.
It is. Getting back into it means you are slowly returning to an activity and making it part of your life again.
So if someone says, are you studying English again? You can say, yes, I took a break, and now I am getting back into it.
Exactly. No long explanation, no apology speech.
No courtroom.
No courtroom. You do not need to explain every week of your break.
That is helpful, because I think we often use very harsh language with ourselves.
Yes. We say, I failed. I disappeared. I ruined my progress.
But maybe we can say, I lost momentum.
Yes. Momentum is the energy that keeps something moving. If you lose momentum, you stop moving forward with the same energy.
Like a bicycle, if you stop pedaling, it slows down.
Exactly. But the bicycle is not broken. It just needs movement again.
So I lost momentum, but I am starting again.
That is honest without being cruel.
Honest without being cruel. I like that phrase.
Me too. Because when we speak kindly, the next step feels lighter.
Part 6. When stopping was the right thing.
There is one more side to this. Not every stop is bad.
I was hoping you would say that.
Sometimes stopping was the right thing.
Really?
Yes. Maybe the goal was not right anymore. Maybe the plan was unhealthy. Maybe your life changed. Maybe you needed rest. Maybe you needed to stop and think.
So beginning again does not always mean returning to the exact same plan.
Right. Sometimes beginning again means returning in a wiser way.
Can you give me an example?
Imagine someone tried to study English every night at 11:30 after a long workday. They did it for a week, then stopped. They might think, I failed at English. But maybe the real problem was the time.
Their brain was tired.
Exactly. So the new start could be 5 minutes in the morning, or 10 minutes on the bus, or listening while cooking.
So do not restart the same broken plan.
Yes. Beginning again is a chance to adjust the plan.
Adjust means change something a little so it works better.
Exactly. And your first attempt gave you information.
Even if it ended badly?
Yes. Maybe especially then. You learned what was too big, too boring, too lonely, too late, too unclear, or too hard for your real life.
So the old attempt was not wasted if you learn from it.
Exactly.
That changes the feeling. Instead of thinking, I stopped, so all that time was wasted, You think I stopped, but now I know something.
Yes, that is experience.
Beginning again is not starting from zero.
You are starting with experience.
I used to think beginning again meant proving I could finally do the perfect version.
And now?
Now I think it means building a version that can survive real life.
That is very good.
Thank you. I am having a wise moment. Please protect it.
I will protect it carefully.
Because real life has bad sleep, busy weeks, family problems, low energy, and chairs.
The chair-based lifestyle returns.
It always waits for me.
So your new plan needs to be strong, but also flexible.
Flexible means it can bend without breaking.
Yes. A flexible plan can survive an imperfect week.
Like, if I cannot study for 30 minutes, I will listen for 5.
Or, if I miss Monday, I can still return on Tuesday.
One missed day does not need to become one missed month.
Exactly.
That is where I usually go wrong. I miss one day and my brain says, well, the whole plan is destroyed. See you next year.
Your brain has a theater department.
A large one. Very dramatic lighting. Part 7. The first small step back. So what should the first step back look like?
Small enough that you can actually do it.
That sounds simple, but people ignore it.
Because we often want the first step to prove something.
Like, I stopped for 3 months, so today I must study for 3 hours.
Yes, but that makes the restart heavy. The first step is not there to prove you are a new person. It is there to reopen the door.
The small door again.
Yes. My coffee cup drawing reopened the door. Your Spanish sentence reopened the notebook.
And my running shoes maybe need a 5-minute walk, not a dramatic mountain journey.
Please do not take the shoes to a mountain yet. They are still healing.
They need emotional support.
They need a gentle plan.
Okay, but I want to ask something. How small is too small?
I do not think the first step can be too small if it truly brings you back.
Even one sentence?
Yes. If one sentence changes you from, I am avoiding this, to I touched it again, that matters.
Touched it again. That is interesting.
Sometimes the first step is just contact. You open the book. You listen for 2 minutes. You write one message. You look at the project file. You put your shoes by the door.
That sounds almost silly, but I know it works.
It works because it changes your relationship with the goal. The goal is not a locked room anymore. You have opened the door a little.
And tomorrow maybe you open it wider.
Exactly.
I think the danger is comparing the small step with the big dream.
Yes. If your dream is big, the first step can look tiny and unimportant.
Like wanting to speak English fluently and only listening to one short conversation.
But one short conversation is not the whole dream. It is the bridge back to the dream.
A bridge.
A bridge does not need to be the whole city. It just helps you cross from one side to the other.
So the first step is a bridge from stopped to started.
Yes, from stopped to started.
That phrase is simple, but I like it.
Me too. And that is often the hardest bridge to cross.
Because once you are moving, movement gets easier.
Usually, yes. Not always easy, but easier.
So instead of asking, how can I change my whole life today? We ask, what is one bridge step?
Exactly. One bridge step.
For English, that could be listening to one episode, writing one sentence, reading one short paragraph.
For exercise, one walk.
For a project, opening the file.
For a friendship, one kind message.
For drawing, one tired coffee cup.
The tired coffee cup is now famous.
It deserves a tiny museum.
Next to the running shoes.
Perfect. A museum of small comebacks. Part 8. Words from today's conversation.
Before we finish, let's collect some useful words and phrases from today's conversation.
Not a big classroom list.
No, just words and phrases we use naturally, and that can help you talk about beginning again.
First one, begin again.
Begin again means start again after stopping. You can use it for English, a routine, a relationship, a project, or a personal goal.
For example, I stopped for a while, but I want to begin again.
Or, it takes courage to begin again after a difficult year.
The next phrase is pick something back up.
To pick something back up means to start doing something again after a break.
Like, I want to pick English back up this month.
Or, She picked drawing back up after many years.
Next, get back into it.
Get back into it means slowly return to an activity and make it feel normal again.
So you can say, I took a break from exercise, but now I am getting back into it.
Or, I am getting back into English by listening a little every day.
Next phrase, take a break.
Take a break means stop for a short or long time, often because you need rest, space, or time.
And it sounds kinder than saying, I failed and disappeared.
Yes. For example, I took a break from studying, but I am ready to return.
Next, lose momentum.
Momentum is the energy that keeps something moving. If you lose momentum, you stop moving forward with the same energy.
Like the bicycle. If I stop pedaling, the bicycle slows down.
Exactly. You can say, I lost momentum after a busy week.
Or, I lost momentum, but I can start with one small step.
Next word, discouraged.
Discouraged means you feel less hope or less energy because something was difficult.
For example, I felt discouraged when I realized I had stopped again.
Or, do not be too hard on yourself when you feel discouraged.
Another useful word is setback.
A setback is a problem or delay that slows your progress. But it does not mean the story is over.
So you can say, that was a setback, but I can begin again.
Exactly. A setback is not the final chapter.
And our final phrase, one step at a time.
One step at a time means you do something slowly, calmly, and in small parts.
For example, I do not need to fix everything today. I can take it one step at a time.
That phrase is simple, but very useful when a goal feels big.
So today's language is begin again, pick it back up, get back into it, take a break, lose momentum, discouraged, setback, and one step at a time.
And you do not need to memorize all of them right now.
Just notice them. Hear them in context. Let them become familiar.
That is how natural English grows, phrase by phrase, conversation by conversation. Part 9. What beginning again can sound like. Maybe we can show what these phrases sound like in real life.
Good idea. Let's imagine someone wants to return to English after a long break.
Basic version. I stopped English. I feel bad.
That is clear, but it sounds a little hard on yourself.
Better version?
I took a break from English, and now I am getting back into it one step at a time.
Much kinder. Still honest, but not cruel.
Exactly. Here is another one. I lost momentum for a while, but I want to pick it back up.
That sounds very natural.
Yes, and if someone asks why you stopped, you can say, life got busy and I needed a break.
No long courtroom explanation.
No courtroom.
What about exercise?
You could say, I had a setback with my routine, but I am beginning again slowly.
That sounds mature.
It accepts the setback without making it your identity.
Your identity means who you are.
Yes. A setback is something that happened. It is not who you are.
The setback is an event, not an identity.
Exactly.
What about a friendship? That feels more emotional.
Yes. You might say, I know we have not talked for a while, but I have been thinking about you. I hope you are doing well.
That is simple and gentle.
You do not need to say everything in the first message. You just reopen the door.
The small door again.
Yes. The small door is working very hard today.
It deserves respect.
And for a personal project, you can say to yourself, I do not need to finish it today. I only need to open it again.
That sentence feels useful.
Because sometimes beginning again is not about speed. It is about contact.
You touch the goal again.
Yes. You let it be part of your life again.
I think that is why one small action can feel emotional. It is not small inside.
Exactly. Outside, it may look tiny. One sentence, one walk, one page. But inside, it means, I have not given up completely.
So maybe courage is not always loud.
No. Sometimes courage is very quiet.
Like opening the notebook when nobody sees.
Or putting the shoes by the door.
The shoes are listening.
I hope they feel respected now.
They do. Little suspicious, but respected. Part 10. What we take from today.
So what do we take from this conversation?
First, beginning again can feel heavier than starting the first time.
Because you remember stopping before.
But that memory is not only a problem, it can also give you information.
Your past attempt can teach you. Maybe the plan was too big. Maybe the timing was wrong. Maybe you needed more support. Maybe you needed a smaller first step.
Second, you are not starting from zero.
You are starting with experience.
That is the sentence I want to keep.
Me too. You may feel slow at first. You may feel discouraged. You may feel awkward. But you are not empty. You are returning with everything you learned before.
Third, the first step back should be small.
Small enough to do. Small enough to open the door.
One sentence. One page. One short walk. One message. One tired coffee cup.
The tired coffee cup will never leave us.
Never.
And fourth, use kinder language with yourself.
Instead of, I failed, maybe say, I took a break.
Instead of, I am hopeless, maybe say, I lost momentum.
Instead of, it is over, maybe say, I can begin again one step at a time.
That language matters, because the way you talk to yourself can make the next step feel heavier or lighter.
If someone listening has stopped English, what would you tell them?
I would say you do not need a perfect comeback. Just make contact with English again. Listen for a few minutes. Read one small thing. Notice one phrase. Let it be gentle.
And I would say, your English did not disappear. It may feel sleepy, but it is still there.
Sleepy English. I like that.
It needs coffee.
Maybe not coffee. Maybe patience.
Fine, patience first. Coffee second.
That sounds balanced.
Before we go,
today we talked about the courage to begin again.
We talked about why the second start can feel heavy, especially when you remember stopping before.
We also talked about shame, setbacks, losing momentum, taking a break, and getting back into something slowly.
And we shared one important idea. Beginning again is not starting from zero. You are starting with experience.
We heard useful phrases like, pick it back up, get back into it, take a break, lose momentum, and one step at a time.
So here is our question for you. Have you ever stopped something important and then started again? You can write one simple sentence in the comments.
For example, I took a break from English, but now I am getting back into it.
Simple is enough. Honest is enough.
And if this conversation helped you, you can subscribe for more natural English conversations with us.
Take one small step today. Not a perfect step, just a real one.
Your notebook does not need a speech.
Your shoes do not need a promise.
They just need one small action.
One step at a time.
Thank you for listening to Podcast English Lessons.
We hope this conversation helped you feel understood and learn useful natural English for beginning again, taking a break, losing momentum, trying again, and moving forward one step at a time.
thank you for listening to this episode. Subscribe for more English conversations.